Welcome to the Longevity Mindset channel, the channel that helps you discover why you should want to live a long, healthy, wise, and happy life. Here we go. Let's get started right away. We all desire to live a long, healthy, and happy life, but the reality is that few actually manage to achieve this goal. In this regard, the statistics clearly show some very interesting facts. For example, genetics tells us that the human being is designed to live in good health for up to about 120 years. A concrete example is Jeanne-Louise Calment, a French woman who lived to the extraordinary age of 122 years. However, in industrialized countries like Europe and the United States, the average life expectancy is around 80 years. But what's even more concerning is that in these countries, healthy life expectancy drops to around 64 years. This means that, on average, we are giving up more than 50 years that could be lived in good physical and mental health. But why does this happen? In this video, we will try to answer this question, explaining that to live long, healthily, and happily, we must first learn to be. In fact, many people still live with the limiting belief that life is nothing more than matter, and that intelligence itself arises from matter. Many people think that the brain gives rise to consciousness, but the reality is very different. It's the opposite. Consciousness, the very core of our being, not only creates and gives form to matter, but also generates our body and our mind. This idea may seem counterintuitive, but it is supported by various scientific theories. The famous physicist Max Planck, father of quantum theory, once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derived from consciousness. We cannot get behind consciousness. Everything that we talk about, everything that we regard as existing, postulates consciousness." These words make us reflect on a profound truth. Consciousness is not the final product of matter, but rather the creative principle underlying all of reality. Our true self, our state of being, ultimately shapes both the way we live and our health. It is consciousness, our inner essence, that creates and shapes matter. If we start seeing life this way, it becomes clear that to achieve a long, healthy, and happy life, we must first take care of our consciousness, our state of being. Thought creates reality, and a balanced and aware mind can create a balanced life full of well-being. When we identify exclusively with matter, the body, beauty, success, and all those things that the world teaches us to consider fundamental, inevitably, there comes a time when we feel tired, empty. This happens because matter is temporary, impermanent, and basing our identity on it leads us to always seek more, without ever finding true satisfaction. On the contrary, when we identify with our essence, that deep vibration that constitutes 99.9% of who we truly are, then we experience true freedom. Our consciousness, which is our true nature, is not limited by matter. We can choose to identify with certain aspects of the material world, such as the body or success, but we are not enslaved by them. We can use them as tools to express ourselves, but without being trapped in them. This is the deep meaning of the phrase, "be in the world, but not of the world," attributed to Jesus in the Gospel of John. It means that we can fully live the material experience, but without being consumed by it. True freedom is found in recognizing that we are vibration, consciousness, and that matter is just one of the means through which we can express ourselves. When we understand this, we not only free ourselves from the fatigue and stress of the incessant pursuit of material perfection, but we begin to live a more harmonious and conscious life, where matter becomes a tool in service of our consciousness, and not the other way around. If at the level of consciousness, therefore of vibration, we have infinite potential, then we are not forced to remain stuck in a limited identity. We can stop identifying with the image of an old, tired, sad, demotivated, resigned, overweight person, or incapable of change. These are just masks, facades that we wear temporarily, but that do not represent who we truly are. At every moment of life, we wear a mask, an identity that represents a part of us. But if we realize that we are not that mask, we can change it. We no longer have to live with the idea that we are defined by a limited physical or emotional condition. We are pure vibration, infinite consciousness, and we can choose to wear a new mask, one that represents vitality, health, joy, and longevity. This awareness gives us incredible power. We can literally reinvent ourselves. If we imagine ourselves as old, tired, or sick, we will continue to attract these conditions into our lives. But if we see ourselves as vital, healthy, happy, long-lived, and above all, aware of our infinite potential, we can transform our reality. We no longer need to feel powerless in the face of aging or the difficulties of life. We have the power to choose who we want to be at a vibrational level, and this choice will also be reflected in matter, in our body, and in our mind. Being aware of our essence means being free to change, to evolve, and to create a life that is in harmony with our limitless potential. When we identify with the tired, weak, and limited version of ourselves, we are reducing our potential and creating within us, at a subconscious level, an image of a person who, if all goes well, will live in health up to about 64 years. After that age, we expect the aches, the physical and mental problems to start, and we just hope to make it, perhaps with difficulty, to 84 years. But by doing so, we are planting exactly that seed within us, at the level of consciousness. And like any seed, what we plant is what will grow. If inside we cultivate this image of old age, physical decline, and deterioration, then that is exactly what we will manifest in our lives. Our body and our health will conform to this limited vision. We are the ones who, with our deep beliefs, create our reality. If we plant the belief that health will abandon us after a certain age, it is likely to be so. Our powerful consciousness shapes our future based on the seed we have chosen to plant. But if we choose to plant a different seed, a seed that sees us healthy, vital, and long-lived even after 100 years, we can radically transform our experience. Our self-image, our being, is what determines how we will live and how long we will remain healthy. As Marianne Williamson reminds us in her famous poem, quoted by Nelson Mandela on the day of his inauguration as President of South Africa, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. This quote reminds us that when we let our inner light shine, we not only transform our own lives, but we give others the courage to do the same. Stop shrinking yourself into a limited version of who you are and embrace your true potential. It is the first step to a long, healthy, and happy life. Many people have little faith in themselves, and this is no accident. The system we live in has indoctrinated us to believe that we must place our faith in something external, in a God outside of us. But the truth is different. We ourselves are our true God. This does not mean being selfish or arrogant, but recognizing that the power to create and transform our life resides within us, in our consciousness. and in our ability to deeply believe in our potential. But what does it really mean to have faith in oneself? It means understanding that between the moment we plant the intention, the seed of what we want to manifest, and the moment that intention materializes, there is a period of latency. This time is essential because it allows us to nurture our seed. Having faith in oneself means being persistent and persevering in believing that even if we don't yet see the results, they will come. Like when we plant a seed in the ground, we don't expect to see a plant the next day. We know it takes time. But in the meantime, we keep caring for it, providing warmth, water, and nourishment, certain that one day it will transform into a lush plant. Similarly, we must nurture our intentions with consistency and patience, knowing that manifestation takes time. Our subconscious, in the meantime, works in the background. It organizes a series of micro-decisions and actions that, in the long run, lead us towards the realization of what we desire. Every small choice we make is guided by our inner belief. And if that belief is strong, we will find ourselves making the right choices to get closer to our goals. Now, I ask you, how would you like to spend the last 10 years of your life, maybe after you turn 100? Imagine, do you want to be able to travel, swim, study new things, love, hug your loved ones, celebrate life? What would you like to be able to do? These questions are fundamental because they help you plant today the seed of your long-term intentions. If you can clearly see what you want, you can begin to nurture your faith in yourself today, knowing that what you plant now will manifest over time. It is a process that requires trust, commitment, and consistency. But the reward is a life where you are the conscious creator, free from the limitations imposed by others or society, and capable of manifesting the reality you truly desire. To better explain why it makes sense to dedicate yourself to your consciousness and grow as individuals, I want to tell you a short story. Once upon a time, two seeds met underground. They stood silently staring at each other for a while until one of them, looking thoughtful, said to the other, "You know, it really seems silly and too exhausting to strive to grow and live. All this effort to sprout, push the soil to let one leaf after another come out, grow the stem, collect nutrients from the earth, and then become a plant. It seems pointless." The second seed, curious, asked, "Why do you think it's silly, pointless, and exhausting?" And the first seed replied, "Well, there's a good chance that, after all this effort, a cow might eat me, or an unaware person might step on me and kill me. So, all things considered, it's not worth the candle. It doesn't make sense to work so hard with all these uncertainties." After a brief reflection, the second seed said, "Dear friend, do you not know that even if you choose to do nothing and remain here underground without growing, you will still end up rotting? You will still rot, but without ever having experienced life, without ever having discovered what it means to grow and become a plant, without having seized the opportunity to understand and develop your essence." This story offers a profound perspective on our life. We are all destined to leave our physical body one day. It is inevitable. But this doesn't mean we should give up living fully. It makes no sense to stay still, limited by the fear of what might happen. Even though life presents uncertainties, it is through experiences, effort, and growth that we develop our consciousness and realize our potential. Choosing to live with faith in our potential means recognizing that we can have a long, healthy, and happy life, full of discoveries and evolution. Not living is simply giving up the opportunity to develop our being. So ask yourself, do you want to stay underground, still, out of fear of uncertainties? Or do you want to bloom and live, knowing that every moment of your existence is an opportunity to grow and evolve? Many people live believing in the logic: having, doing, being. They think that if they have health, money, good genes, or love, then they will be lucky, almost chosen by God, and only then will they be able to do what they desire, and as a final result, be happy, fulfilled, and realized. But this is an illusion, a limited view of reality. The truth is that manifestation works the other way around. It starts with being. We must first be what we want to become at the level of consciousness. This also applies to healthy and happy longevity. We cannot expect to live a long and healthy life if deep inside we continue to identify with fears, limiting beliefs, and complaints related to old age. If we see ourselves as fragile, sick, or resigned, that will be the reality we manifest. To attract a reality of longevity, health, and happiness, we must first be long-lived, healthy, and happy at the level of consciousness. This means disidentifying from all those negative beliefs, fears, and thoughts of decline related to aging. Instead, we must identify with a new being, a long-lived, healthy, wise, and happy being. Only when we already see ourselves that way can we do the right things, act in an aligned way, and finally, have that reality in our lives. The key to living a long, healthy, and happy life is always remembering this sequence: being, doing, having. When we consciously cultivate our being, everything else naturally follows. It's not a matter of waiting for external conditions to align, but of aligning our inner state first. Only then can we manifest the life we truly desire. Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you found what you heard interesting, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with the people you love. Remember, the journey to a long, healthy, and happy life begins with the planting of an intention.